Harris, and he got him.
A division of NOS Media, this is NOS Sports.
Another first in 2025 and for NOS Sports. It took us long enough, but we are finally happy to bring you Concordia Mustang volleyball coverage on their home court. Welcome to the 2025 Class C1-4 District Final as the Mustangs try to get back to the state tournament for the first time since 2017. And their attempt to do it is against the talented David City Scouts from 2 counties west of the Omaha Metro, here, though, in northwest Omaha. Good afternoon, everybody. Ryan Swanigan with you. Sarah Swanigan producing for us once again. She'll also be reporting on some of the district final scores to be provided from Class C1 and Class B as well. Class B field getting set right now. In fact, by the time we're done here, the Class B field will be completely set. And Sarah will give us some updates on that. I'm still under the weather, and I need all help I can get. Thank goodness that Sarah Swanigan is with us today. I can't apologize enough for not only that, but for not getting to Concordia volleyball until today. But on this day, it just might be the best time to see the Mustangs in 2025. Concordia has not been to state in 8 years. Interestingly enough, that is about the length of time where the Mustangs saw a lot of success when it comes to state. They've made it back-to-back years in 2010 and 2011. Then they were the runner-up in 2014. They won it all in 2016. Were in the state tournament in 2017, and that was the last time that Concordia was in the state tournament field. And they want to end this route today. Opposite them is David City, a school that hasn't been to the state volleyball tournament since 1986. Not kidding. It took me a while to find that date. I had to go through every single state volleyball tournament, going all the way back to 1986 until David City finally popped up. That was the last time that the Scouts were in the field. And Tally Reeves, Cameron Burns, and company want to end a drought that towers over Concordia's when it comes to making the field of 8 in Class C1. The Scouts are coming off of a gut-wrenching loss in 5 sets to Lincoln Lutheran on Tuesday night, so thankfully I'm a little familiar with David City after seeing them on Lincoln Prep Sports against the Warriors on Tuesday night. Now, they have to turn around and face off with another good Centennial Conference team in the Mustangs of Concordia. We'll talk more about what these two schools have done this season in the state's most difficult class and on one of the most difficult days for C1. It's district final Saturday on this first day of the month of November, where playoff volleyball reaches its peak. And we'll tell you more about this C1-4 district final when we come back right after this here on NOS Sports.
When searching for insurance, you want someone in your corner, providing advice and guidance on coverage for your home, auto, or business, offering options from multiple carriers, helping you to find the right policy for your unique needs, and supporting you along the way in case a claim arises. Independent insurance agents from Trusted Choice are in your corner. They'll work with you to find insurance that meets your needs now and in the future. Connect with a local agent today.
NOS Media, you know who they are. Omaha Scanner, Sarpy Scanner, Lincoln Scanner, and more. Raw news in real time, providing the latest updates on first responder activity in Nebraska's 2 biggest cities, plus coverage in other locations. Adding weather from Chief Meteorologist Jim Phillips with Omaha and Sarpy weather, and of course, live coverage of high school athletics on NOS Sports. Follow along with the latest and up-to-date info from NOS Media on social media and at nosmedia.com.
You're listening to high school athletics coverage on NOS Sports.
Welcome back to Concordia here in northwest Omaha. Ryan Swanigan, Sarah Swanigan with you. Let's get to Sarah Swanigan because there are some very important Class C1 and Class B district finals happening right now across the state. Sarah, take it away.
All right, we'll start with Class B.
and you correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but it looks like Class B is pretty much almost done, with the exception of Bennington and Gering.
Yeah, that's the only one that should be going on still.
Yeah, so Bennington is up 2-0, currently in their third set. Gering has 1 point over on Bennington. They're at 10-9 in set number 3. So we've got a little bit of ways to go in the set, but the match could be over. Bennington could make a run and end Gering's season.
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, list everybody else who's punched their ticket.
Alrighty. Surprise, surprise, Scott Catholic's going to Lincoln. Didn't see that one coming. They swept Seward this morning. Waverly versus Northwest. Waverly swept Northwest as well this morning, just at the same time as Scott swept Seward. We've also got Gretna versus York. These are all going to be sweeps, so just so I'm not repeating myself, every single one of these is a sweep. Gretna defeats York in 3 sets. Columbus Lakeview over Pius X. Elkhorn North over Aurora, and Norris over Lincoln Standing Bear. I don't think there's anything there that's too shocking.
No.
Maybe Columbus Lakeview Pius X, but I wouldn't call that a shock. I'd just call that a bad day for Pius.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty, moving on to Class C1.
This is where it gets interesting.
As we've said it before, Class C1 is the most competitive class in Nebraska high school volleyball. So away we go with this. We're watching and we will be updating with a fair number of final scores as we go on here at Concordia. But first of all, sorry, let me get this back up again. Thank you, Ryan. I exited too soon. All right. First up, we have Milford and Kearney Catholic, which this one is a shock.
Yeah, bit of a surprise.
I'm really not sure what's going on. So Milford has come back. They were down 2-0, and they have taken the 4th and 3rd sets, and now they are going to 5 sets against Kearney Catholic, which is very surprising to me because Milford's number 1.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Lutheran swept Clarkson Lee in 3 sets. Nothing too crazy there. Minden and Adams Central is coming up, as is Platteview and Holdridge. I mean, everything else is coming up. Bishop Newman and Ashland Greenwood, Pierce Malcolm, Ogallala, Battle Creek, and then here at Concordia against David City. But we are definitely going to be keeping an eye on that Milford Kearney Catholic game. It is the only game or the only match today that has gone to 5 sets thus far, because Class B was all sweeps. And it's also, I think, Ryan, you would agree, it is a match that in no world should have gone to 5 sets.
Yeah, I think the Milford Eagles are really trying to come back and prove that, hey, we can't succumb to Kearney Catholic. But the Stars have been to the state tournament for multiple years in a row, and so we'll see what happens with that. But thank you to Sarah Swanigan for the updates on the scores. And let's now talk about this matchup here between David City and Concordia. The Mustangs 28-8 on the season, 9-1 in this gym. They're 69-22 in sets. The Scouts 22-9, 9-6 on the road, 59-26 in sets. Against the Centennial Conference, David City 2-2, 8-7 in sets. The wins include Scota Central Catholic and Kearney Catholic. The losses, Bishop Newman, and then of course Lincoln Lutheran in 5 sets on Tuesday. Speaking of 5 sets, David City 1-1 now in the 5th set. Concordia is 1-0, and that was their first match of the season against Lincoln Christian here in this gym. That went 5 sets between the Crusaders and the Mustangs. Against Class C1, David City 10-5, 28-14 in sets, but against the top teams on the season, 9-9, 28-24 in sets. Concordia 11-3 against Class C1, 29-8 in sets, but against the top teams, the Mustangs 20-17 in sets and a 7-7 record. That's going to do it for our pregame show here at Concordia. When we come back, starting lineups and first serve between the Mustangs and David City. Scouts and Concordia battling it out for the Class C1-4 district title and a trip to the state tournament. Somebody's drought's going to come to an end. We'll find out who it is right after this here on All Sports.
Honey, isn't it amazing?
What?
That the sack sacrifice, the dedication, the grit. They really set an example, don't they?
Oh, well, no question. Today's high school athletes are truly special.
Not the athletes.
Who?
The officials.
Oh.
Today's student athletes are truly special. But there's something pretty great about the men and women who officiate their games, too. Like the way they're giving back to their communities. Officiating is a terrific way to stay in shape, meet new people, and stay connected to the game you love. But the biggest reason of all? We need more qualified high school officials here in Nebraska. And without them, the rest of us would have a whole lot less to cheer about. High school games need officials. High school sports need you.
Great call, Rob!
Yeah.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the NSAA, are the 78,000 high school sports and performing arts students in Nebraska. And so, we stand. We stand for the runners, debate team members, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, officials, and adjudicators. We stand for the drummers, football players, and actors. We stand for the golfers, singers, and swimmers. We stand as the national leader and advocate for these essential activities and all who participate in them and make them possible, because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the NSAA and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great for someone to help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You trust in you.
You're listening to high school athletics coverage on NOS Sports.
Welcome back to Concordia here in Northwest Omaha. Ron Swanning and Sarah Swanning with you as we get set for the Class C1-4 District Final between David City and the Concordia Mustangs. And let's get you our starting lineups brought to you by Independent Insurance Agents of Nebraska. Find your local independent agent at trustedchoice.com. Sally Reeves and the David City Scouts lineup looks like this. Sadie Nichols is a sophomore libero at 5'5". She's joined by Emma Zimmerman, a sophomore defensive specialist at 5'8". Cambry Endel is the primary center for the Scouts, a senior at 5'6". Elena Johnson will be in the middle, the junior at 5'8", but 5'8" can get up there at the net. I saw that on Tuesday, and I can advocate for that for sure. Meanwhile, Cameron Burns, the Drake University commit, a senior at 6 foot. She literally does everything for David City, averaging 5.3 kills per set. Her first kill in this match will be number 400 on the season. Burns hitting .368, 45 aces, 13 service errors, serving in a 95.7% clip, third in team blocks and receptions, and is the team digs leader. Addie Rands is a senior at 5'8". She'll be in really an all-rotation type of player. Also joined by Brooke Golden, who will primarily be up front at the net for the Scouts. Golden is a 5'10 junior. For first-year head coach Shelby Bretschneider and the Concordia Mustangs. Starting lineup looks like this. Natalie Perkinson is the senior setter. Setter number 1 for the Mustangs at 5'5". She's joined by Kyra McNair, the senior libero for Concordia. Elise Moulton is a junior setter number 2 at 5'9". Molly Phillips, a sophomore at 5'10", will be joined by Claire Perks. Perks and Phillips. Perks the junior at 5'11" in the middle. Phillips, the sophomore, they will switch out in the middle for the Mustangs. Grace Samuelson also will be in the middle. She'll actually play in many rotations for Concordia. The junior stands at 5'11", and she is very dangerous for Concordia, especially when up at the net. But not as dangerous as Addie Snader, the junior outside hitter, just shy of 300 kills on the season, and Brecken Snyder, who has 375 kills, averaging 4 kills per set, hitting .319, getting a kill over 43% of the time. Snyder, second in team digs, the team receptions leader, and Snyder, a junior at 5'9", is absolutely fantastic for Concordia. It's the first time we had seen the Mustangs since last year at Gross Catholic. And again, I cannot apologize enough for that. But thankfully, we are here today for David City and Concordia. The Scouts in the all-black uniforms with the, actually I have to say the black uniforms with the red stripes down each side of the jersey, red letters, red numbering. The libero Nichols is in the red jersey with the black letters and numbering, the black stripes down each side of the jersey. Kyra McNair for Concordia is in the baby blue jersey with the dark blue letters and numbers and stripes down each side, while the rest of her teammates are in the all navy blue, dark blue uniforms with the baby blue letters and numbering and stripes down each side. Concordia, their bench is truly in hostile territory. David City, and I mean almost all of David City, is here. They have a large student section. They have their band. Their fans are all in front of us. The Concordia band is down to our left. And on the other side of this gym are the Concordia faithful. And the student section is on the back side of the David City service line right now. And that's the setup for this one. Concordia will serve it and play right to left as we see it, and you hear it, David City the opposite way. Starting lineups have been announced. We're going to start a little late. Bit of a long intro, drawn out intro for both sides. Cameron Burns for David City. She's the leader, captain for this Scouts team. Trying to get this team focused in the huddle. Meanwhile, Natalie Perkinson leading the way for Concordia. Trying to get this group back to the state tournament. Again, somebody's drought is going to end. It's been nearly 40 years since David City was in the state tournament. Concordia has not been to the state field since 2017. That's 8 years. And somebody's drought is going to end today here in Northwest Omaha. It's the down official. Well, Sarah Swanigan, you got an update. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to give you some fun context. The last time looking at the score. The last time David City won or went to the state tournament, correct? Our mom was a senior in high school.
Wow. That's a long time ago. Yeah, sorry, Mom. All right. Concordia, their lineup has been cleared. The down official checking with Tally Reeves to clear their lineup. And now the down official is coming over, and we're going to have a bit of a further delayed start, so we're not going to start on time. Meanwhile, some of the other matches ongoing. Score update from Milford has the Eagles leading Kearney Catholic 10-6 in set 5. Everybody else is either starting now or will be starting in a few minutes. Malcolm and Pierce at 1:30. Flatview is underway against the Holdridge Dusters. And now we are finally ready to go. David City won the toss. They will serve. Emma Zimmerman will serve it left to right with the Concordia student section right behind her and serves over, and it's going to be played in the back row by Stater. Back to Stater up front, who puts it down, left pin. And that is how Concordia starts this match. Right out of the gate, Stater smokes that ball to left pin. And now she will go back and serve, and now Brecken Snyder takes over at the left pin in the front row. Stater back to serve. 51 8-6 before service errors for Stater. It's all or nothing for the junior. Serve over at Rance. Here is Cameron Burns, block back cover. Bump set Nichols. Burns with the offhand. No, with the left hand it's Doug. Joust at the net, goes out of bounds, and it's going to be a David City point. There was a touch by Concordia. Well, the Scouts making the noise, loving that, and we're tied at 1. That's a close play right there. And now here is Addie Rance. 92.2% service. A great David City team from the service line. Snyder blocked back cover by Snyder. Moulton, the other side. Swing through. Doug in the back by Andel. Bump set Zimmerman up front. Burns takes a swing through. That's Doug. McNair will bump set it again for the right side for Concordia in front of that line. Elise Moulton. Check that. No, it's Molly Phillips. Molly Phillips to the right side. 2-1. And now here is Samuelson. Grace Samuelson serving at an 89.8% clip. Concordia overall 90.4% for the line 8 serve Samuelson. Her 38th ace on the season. She's got 39 service errors opposite that. And is also averaging 2.2 blocks per match up front of the net. Samuelson with a right hand line drive serve. Overcut the tape, 8 serve. Zimmerman got fooled. The tape definitely altered that one. Zimmerman flinched. And it dropped in front of her, 4-1 Mustangs. And now Samuelson has evened it up. 39 aces, 39 service errors. And another ace. It clips the tape again. Samuelson got lucky going to the well again, and it drops. How about this? There's Samuelson again, who now is +1 in aces to service errors. Free ball over Burns. Right there is Case for Concordia, and then in the middle, Molly Phillips again. No, check that. It's Claire Perks. Perks is in now. You've got Perks and Phillips, and Perks makes it 6-1 Concordia. Samuelson again. Right-handed serve over at Zimmerman, and another ace! It just keeps on going, and Tally Reeves wants a timeout. 7-1. Concordia with a hot start. Sarah Swanigan's got a score update.
Milford will be returning to the state championship. They took set 3, 15-8.
Wow.
So Milford's going back.
Reverse sweep. What a gut punch for Kearney Catholic and Hazel Harburg as well. That's it for the Harburgs at Kearney Catholic. And a run, too, for the Stars comes to an end. Consecutive state tournaments in a row made is gone now, as that streak comes to an end, and the Milford Eagles return to the state tournament. Shayla Rottenberg and company going to cause problems, I'm sure, at state. We'll see what transpires with all of that. Out of the break. Tally Reeves already having to burn a timeout early. 7-1. Concordia with the lead. Samuelson over. Good pass for David City. Set for Burns. Tipper over Doug. Somehow by Moulton. Here comes Snyder through. Doug Zimmerman. It goes back over. And then the ball drops. Case was the only one coming up there for that ball. Everybody else for Concordia froze. And what a break for David City. Bella Hines now back in serving. Her back to the Concordia Mustang student section. Rowdy as always. Case on the reception. Bumps at Moulton. Roller over Doug by Hines. Now here comes Burns. Way long over everything. Right pin swing from Cameron Burns. 8-2 Concordia. Perkinson now checks in for Concordia and will serve it for the Mustangs. Right to left as we see it and you hear it. Perkinson with a right-handed line drive serve over. Good pass by Andel. Here comes Andel. Now back pass. Fulton denies. Perks was there too. 9-2 Mustangs in set number 1. Here's Perkinson once again. The David City student section right behind her. Line drive serve over. Good pass from Rands. Backside on the way. Burns through the block. Doug somehow. And now Snyder on the second touch fires over Doug Zimmerman. Here comes Andel with a roll shot. That's dug by Snyder. Perkinson back the other way. Snyder through. It's Doug Zimmerman. Set for the middle. Tipper blocked. Too easy for Claire Perks. David City wants a net violation. The net is moving. But nothing against the Mustangs, who lead 10-2. Here's Perkinson again. Right-handed serve. Too long. Just long, and it was close. And here Portia Guatu's name announced. She checks in up front at the net with Cameron Burns serving over. Bad pass. It's an overpass. David City will play it though, with Andel getting the set swing through and down. Off that block and down. Perks touched it last. Cambry Andel with the kill, hitting just under 200 coming into this afternoon. Cameron Burns serving still for David City. 10-4, Scouts down by 6. Burns at Snyder, good pass. Perkinson back set, the slide into the tape. Claire Perks will not get it done. And Burns now will set it, or will serve it again, rather. There are times where Cameron Burns will set the ball as well for David City. And here's Burns with the left hand. Bad pass, overpass, push down. A gift for Elena Johnson. And Addie Stater is going to check in for Brecken Case. 10-6, David City down by 4, trying to close the gap with Burns at the service line. Good serve over, Stater, good pass. Perkinson with the bump set. Snyder off the line. Doug, or on the 10-foot line, off the net rather. Here comes Andel now the other way through. One arm dig and sails into the stands off of Stater. 10-7. David City on a run with Burns still serving. Left to right as we see it and you hear it. Burns with the left hand. And the zone instruction for Tally Reeves. Over at Stater, good pass. Perkinson back to Snyder, who swings hard and through. No block touch. Concordia wanted a block touch. Didn't look like it. Point David City again. It's a 6-0 run for the Scouts. Burns with the left hand over again. Good pass. Perkinson back to Snyder, who puts it down through that block. Snyder with Johnson and Iguatu in front of her. And Snyder gets the side out for the Mustangs, 11-8 in set 1. Now Snyder back to serve. Stater at the left pin for Concordia. Back set Bella Hines. Tipper over down. A running tip shot from Cambry Andel, and she got up and over that block. 11-9. Concordia with a 2-point lead, and now here's Sadie Nichols, the libero, back in serving. Or Nicholas, excuse me, Sadie Nichols, not Nichols. Bear with me. Here's Perkinson for the middle, tipper in, not pancaked up. Tip shot coming from the middle. I believe that was either Fulton. No, it was actually Burks. Blair Burks with a tip shot over and down. 12-9. Now here's Kyra McNair. Left-handed line drive serve over at Andel. Bump set Hines. Here comes Andel through and down. Did it hit the antenna? No. Just a weird angle from us. Off the block and down for Andel. 12-10. Mustangs still with a 2-point lead. And now Andel will back and serve. Andel with a right-handed line drive serve over. Good pass by Snyder. Perkinson for Stater. Into that block and down. And Stater, who's only hitting .211 coming into today, but will probably pick up her 300th kill of the season. Of course, opposite that, Cameron Burns just picked up her 400th earlier. Actually, she has not yet, according to the stats from Sarah Swanigan. Tipper over, McNair saves it, and it goes out of bounds, though. David City with a point, back to being down by 2 again, 13-11 in set 1. Now Emma Zimmerman. Back and serving for the Scouts. Right-handed line drive serve at Stater. Fulton, Samuelson on the slide, and a power tip done. Bump set Nicholas, and that ball is not going to go up and over from Burns. Point Concordia. Well, they're going to say Burns was in the net. Either way, it's going to be a Mustang point. 14-11 set 1. Well, here's Stater now serve for Concordia. Serve over. That pass Rands. It's somehow set by Andel for Burns. Pushed over and done by Fulton. McNair bumps it. Snyder on the 10-foot line. Block back. Rands denies Snyder. 14-12. Concordia with the 2-point lead. And here is Rands back in serving for David Stiddy over at McNair. Good enough pass. Fulton, good bump set into the block and down to Snyder again. I said Fulton, it's Moulton. This is getting tough. Again, this is my first time seeing Concordia since last year. You got Fulton and you got Moulton. Then you got Brecken Case and Brecken Snyder. Then Addie Stater. And I'm trying my best. Here's a serve over from Concordia. Towering reception there. Golden is long. Just missed the back line, too. And Tally Reeves is going to call her final timeout. 16-12. Take a quick timeout ourselves. Back after this here on All Sports.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Nebraska at highschoolofficials.com.
You're listening to high school athletics coverage on NOS Sports.
A ruckus gym here at Concordia High School in Northwest Omaha. Ryan Swanigan, Sarah Swanigan with you. We'll get a score update from Sarah Swanigan before we begin set number 2 on Class C1 and Class B action. Bennington, the only team in action right now, as Concordia serves over, but they were not ready, or the officials, I guess, were not ready for whatever reason. And so Samuelson back and serving for the Mustangs with the right hand ready to go. She's already got 3 aces in this match and target Zimmerman. Good pass. Up front, Burns power tip dog. In the back by Brecken Case. Now here's Brecken Snyder, and it's ducked by Zimmerman somehow. Took that shot. Now here's Burns, block back. What a big time stuff from Molly Phillips and Claire Perks. Goodness. Cameron Burns, the Drake University commit, turned away. 17-12 Concordia in set number 1. Concordia averages 4.5 blocks per match. David City 3.5. Seen a little bit of it here this afternoon. And now here is Golden into that block and down. An immediate answer for Brooke Golden and David City. She's fired up. She'll check out. Bella Hines checks in, and Hines will go back and serve. 17-13 Concordia here in set number 1. Hines with the right hand targets Case. Moulton, tipper, misdirection this time for Case, or Perks rather. Blair Perks going cross court on that tip shot. She was centered up at the net and went to her right. There was nobody there up and over that block. Now Natalie Perkinson in and serving with the right hand over. With pass, Hines will set the middle. Tipper over and down. Nice idea by Johnson. Going up, over, and down. 18-14. Concordia with a 4-point lead. And now here is Cameron Burns, part of that 6-0 run that David City had earlier. Burns with the left hand. Serves over at Case. Bad pass. McNair with a bump set though. Here comes Snyder off the line. Denied. Iguatu. Straight down as well for Portia Iguatu with the block. 18-15. Here is Burns once again. Right-handed line drive serve it. Case, good pass. Perkinson, tipper, Snyder dug by Rands. Hines for Andel, who pushes that one into the block and out. 18-16. Here goes that run again for David City. Two-point lead for the Mustangs. Burns over at Snyder. Bad pass. Perkinson makes it work though. Set for the middle. Is there a touch? No. Burks missed it wide right. Shelby Gretschneider are going to call timeout. It is a 1-point lead for Concordia here in set number 1, 18-17. Our score. Let's send it over to Sarah Swanigan with a score update from scores from Class B. I guess let's just get Bennington and then go with Class C1.
Alrighty, Bennington and Gehring are in their fourth set right now. Bennington is up 2-1. The current fourth set score is Bennington 18, Gehring 9. So it is possible that Bennington is going to be ending that one right now. I would say it's possible.
Yeah.
Yes. Everywhere else in Class C1 either hasn't started or is in the same position that we are in the first set. Minden and Adams Central. Adams Central is 18-17 right now. Bishop Neumann and Ashland Greenwood are similarly close. Platteview and Holdridge are tied at 18 points apiece in the first set.
Wow. Well, thank you to Sarah Swanigan for those score updates. I'm going to be as much of a break as I can here. Under the weather, but still trying to call a volleyball match. We're not going to pass this one up. Perkinson back set, swing through, off the dig and out. Blair Perks again. Bit of a slide play right there for Concordia. And they get a side out to make it 19-17 here in set 1. Here's Brecken Snyder now. Back and serving for the Mustangs. Rainbow serve over. Iguatu on the reception. Hines back set. Here's Andel off the dig and out. Right pin swing for Cambry Andel, and they're going to change it because apparently Andel went into the net. So a point for Concordia to make it 20-17, and Snyder with our line drive serve over. Good pass. Hines back set, swing in the middle, block back cover by Burns. Bump set goes backwards, free ball over David City at Snyder. Perkinson, here's a set for the middle, that's dug by Burns in the back. Hines, Iguatu into the tape. Point for the Mustangs, 21-17 in set 1. Concordia trying to pull away. Snyder now. Rainbow serve, somehow getting underneath that, and it's going to go over and out. Ace for Snyder. Fifth ace already for Concordia, or no, that's, yeah. Well, now Concordia's going to get another point as the tip shot was blocked back. Concordia looks like they might have been in the net there, but they weren't. Zimmerman is going to check in for Iguatu. 23-17 Concordia here at set one. Snyder again. Burns bad pass. Bump set. A roller off the 10-foot line from Zimmerman. That's Doug Perkinson. Here comes Stater through Doug. One-handed dig by Hines. Hines and can't get the free ball over. 24-17, and now here is set-point serve in the first for Concordia. David City falling apart late here at set number one. And here is Snyder again. Right-handed rainbow serve at Zimmerman. Hines back set. Pushed over by Burns. Pushed up in the air by Perks, rather. Here's Stater, block back covered. Gonna go back over and play by Zimmerman. Hines with the set for Andel. Swing off the block, and is it out? No, it was off the antenna. And Concordia takes set number one, 25-17. So the attack off the pin and then out. And the Mustangs take the first set, 25-17. And it is on to set number two here in Northwest Omaha. Back after this on NOS Sports.
NOS Media, you know who they are. Omaha Scanner, Sarpy Scanner, Lincoln Scanner, and more. Raw news in real time, providing the latest updates on first responder activity in Nebraska's two biggest cities, plus coverage in other locations. Add in weather from Chief Meteorologist Jim Phillips with Omaha and Sarpy weather, and of course, live coverage of high school athletics on NOS Sports. Follow along with the latest and up-to-date info from NOS Media on social media and at nosmedia.com.
Meet Josh.
Hi, everybody.
Josh is a high school basketball player, solid shooter, great teammate.
Hey, don't forget my tenacious D.
And he's my son. So, what does Josh do to be the best basketball player he can be?
I play tennis.
Studies show that student athletes here in Nebraska who play more than one high school sport are more likely to excel. Tennis does more than improve Josh's condition. It gives him a fresh competitive outlet, reduces the risk of injury by cross-training, and introduces him to different coaching techniques and new friends.
Don't get me wrong, hoops are my first love. Tennis just gives me a little break.
So when the new season begins, Josh isn't burned out on basketball. He's eager to play. And you can see the difference in this game.
This message presented by the Nebraska School Activities Association and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Do you have a passion for athletics? Are you a former high school or college athlete looking for ways to stay involved? The Nebraska School Activities Association is asking you to grab a whistle. Officials are needed in every high school activity and are essential to the future of the game. Visit nsaahome.org for more information. Grab a whistle and contact the NSAA to get registered.
You're listening to high school athletics coverage on NOS Sports.
Back at Concordia, Ron Swanigan, Sarah Swanigan with you as the Mustangs, took set number one. I'm still trying to take out my cold, and hopefully by the state volleyball tournament it will be gone. I am hoping and praying for that. We're going to be resting the next couple of days before we get ready for Wednesday morning for Class B at Pinnacle Bank Arena. But here in Northwest Omaha, the Mustangs taking set number one, and nobody knew that we were ready to start set number two. Concordia serves right to left, and now here's the attack over Doug Zimmerman. Here's now Burns swinging off that block and down. And Cameron Burns gives David City the lead to start set number one. A mini stopwatch moment right there. And now Here's Addie Rands serving for the Scouts. Somehow Snyder, good pass there. Moulton and Stater over, that's Doug. Now here comes Golden, block back and down. Phillips gets the block. Samuelson right next to her. That block is a problem for David City. And interestingly enough, it's primarily been Phillips and Perks. Samuelson does not have a block yet. A Stater with the service error, too long. 2-1 David City in set 2. And here's Bella Hines checking in for Golden, and Hines will serve. She's setter number 2 in at least 2 rotations for David City. 17 aces, 8 service errors, and a 95.8% serve. Now Samuelson block back, saved by Perks, free ball over from Moulton. Hines will set it up for Burns, tipper dug by McNair. Moulton again, Snyder through, Doug going back toward the net, and Samuelson terminates! Good grief. Talk about a gift for Grace Samuelson. That ball was destroyed. Twos in set 2. Right-handed line drive serve over. Bump set. And Burns swings over way off the 10-foot line, and that's Doug. Back set on the way. Roller into the donut pit, kicked up by Hines. Free ball over from Burns. Samuelson goes back, pushed down by Johnson. And a gift for David City. Back-to-back gifts for the middles. 3-2 Scouts. Cameron Burns has done very well from the service line in this one. He'll go back and serve. Burns, by the way, that first kill earlier in this second set is her 400th on the season. Here comes Phillips, front court. Ooh, that is apparently wide left. That looked on the line. Molly Phillips in the right pin, just, I guess, somehow missed that line. 4-2, David City in set 2. Here's Burns, serves over at Burns. Good pass. Moulton, Snyder, through, Doug, back over, and just out. McNair was the only one watching the ball. And I think Concordia got lucky on that, as it just landed out of bounds. 4-3, David City. Here's Perkinson in and serving for the Mustangs. Perkinson with a right-handed line drive serve at Burns. Good pass. Hines with a back set. Here comes Ando, block back. And Snyder denies this time. 4s now in set 1. Now Perkinson serves over at Rands. Bump set, Hines. Here's Ando with a tip shot. That's Doug. Now Snyder quickly to the back, but Burns is right there. Wise idea. Now Ando, Doug by Perks in the back. Perkinson now. Here's a swing through and down. Bolton on the right side for Concordia to give them a lead. They're first in set 2, 5-4 Mustangs. And here is Perkinson serving over, pushed up in the air by Rands. Burns with a great back set. Free ball goes over low. Line drive one by Yandel. Back set, and the attack block back. Johnson now denies Fulton. Tied at 5. Now the libero, Sadie Nicholas, a sophomore, checks in and serves for David City. Drive serve, bad pass. Perkinson makes it work. Power tip in. I don't know if that was Fulton or if it was Fulton. Thank you, Sarah. So Emily Fulton with the power tip to give Concordia the lead back 6-5. And now here is Snyder. Serving, and it's going to be saved somehow by Rands. Andel from the back row. Doug. Fulton cannot save the ball as she almost goes into the stands. And a point for David City. Andel with the kill, make it 6-6. Now Andel will go back and serve for the Scouts. At Stater. Stater now takes a big swing or a block touch. No, and that was close. I could not tell if there was one or not. And David City now regains the lead. Here's Andel again. Right-handed line drive serve, McNair, bad pass. Perkinson makes it work. Set for the middle, block back. David City saying no block, play continues. Now a roll shot done by Andel. Cross court, Burns gets the set. Goal hit by that back line. What a break and what a shot for the Scouts. Golden with a kill to make it 8-6, David City. Here's Andel again. Right-handed line drive serve, it's too long. Our first service error in a while. This time coming from Andel and David City. Now, Kyra McNair back and serving for Concordia. With the left hand, the libero sends it over, and it's going to be in. Well, Burns got to the ball. Iguatu's free ball over is denied by one of the Raptors. What a break for Concordia. That will be an ace for McNair. Tied at 8 in set 2. And here is McNair again. Left-handed rainbow server, Iguatu, bad pass. Golden bump set, back to Iguatu, then at the last minute free balls it over at McNair. Perkinson, here comes Stater into that blocking down, and Concordia back in front, 9-8. Here's McNair again. Zaddy Stater picks up another kill, left-handed serve from McNair over. Good pass, Andel, power tip in the middle by Rance Doug. By Fulton, Perkinson, Stater, power tip, block back, and again, David City wants no block, they're not gonna get it. Swing over at Burns. Set for Burns, off the block, but it's out, and David City barely gets that point. Samuelson almost turned away Burns. But somehow, some way, the Scouts get the point and a break too. Here is Zimmerman. Serving in a line drive. Great serve. Good pass by Snyder. Now Samuelson, tipper down. Nice idea by Samuelson to get that tip shot. Up and over that block. There's nobody behind him. Just behind the net. 10-9 Mustangs in set 2. Elise Moulton now in and serving. Moulton with the right hand. Drive serve and Zimmerman. Good pass up front to Andel. Here comes Burns through. Is there a touch? No, there is not. As Burns is long. That's very, very close right there. Here's Moulton at Zimmerman. Good pass again. Andel for Burns. Power tip through that block. Kept up. Samuelson. And somehow free ball. No, it's not going to go over. Snyder got to the ball. Samuelson sent it back. Snyder got there and just swung and sent it straight up to the curtain. Denied by that. And now here's Rand serving at Snyder. Moulton, Stater, cross court, and it's through and down somehow with a bad pass by Rance. Went right through her fingertips. She was trying to push that ball up. It didn't work. 12-10 Concordia. Stater now serves over. Ace! Back right corner for Stater. To make it 13-10 Mustangs in set number 2. Natty Stater again. Right-handed line drive serve. Zimmerman, good pass. Andel, quick set for the middle. Back. Samuelson turns away Andel. Tally Reeves wants a timeout. 14-10. David City trailing Concordia here in set number 2 as the Mustangs starting to put a run together. Back after this on Sports.
When searching for insurance, you want someone in your corner, providing advice and guidance on coverage for your home, auto, or business. Offering options from multiple carriers, helping you to find the right policy for your unique needs, and supporting you along the way in case a claim arises. Independent insurance agents from Trusted Choice are in your corner. They'll work with you to find insurance that meets your needs now and in the future. Connect with a local agent today.
You're listening to high school athletics coverage on NOS Sports.
14-10, Concordia with the lead on David City here in Northwest Omaha. Ryan Swanigan, Sarah Swanigan with you. We'll get a score update from Sarah Swanigan here when we can. Class B field, I imagine, is probably set by now. Sarah Swanigan saying yes, so that means Bennington has punched their ticket, which means we're going to have to wait and see who the wild card is for Class B, and then the field will be officially set. Cameron Burns is dug by Elise Moulton. McNair bumps that back up front. Snyder blocked back, covered. McNair somehow saved. The lift was not called. Ball goes over. David City will set it up again. Burns power tip down. And again the Scouts, when they do not get a call their way, make it work as Cameron Burns closes it out and makes it 14-11. That probably should have been a lift on McNair. Not called. But David City makes it work. They get the point. Down 3. Bella Hines back and serving for the Scouts at McNair. Good pass. Moulton for the middle. Samuelson turned away, but it's dug. Saved by Moulton. And a free ball over from Case. At Johnson. Back set on the way. Here comes Burns. There is a touch. Concordia says no touch. David City going to get the point. The call in favor of them. 14-12. Now here is Bella Hines. Right-handed line drive serve at Case. Good pass. Moulton with a high bump set. Snyder into the net. Snyder just missed time that. 14-13. David City down 1 with Hines at the service line. And Hines with the right hand serves over at McNair. Good pass. Moulton will set it up behind her. Phillips into the block and down. Slide out Concordia. 15-13 in set number 2. Samuelson now back and serving for Concordia. Bad pass. Andel is going to make it work. Burns fires and it's dug by Moulton. Quick attack. Is handled by David City, somehow by Hines. Now Burns over again, Doug Moulton. Samuelson sets it for Phillips. Zimmerman back toward the net, a swing, and a big kill by Burns. Once again, another gift for Concordia's net players. That's Samuelson at Burns. Bad pass. Hines makes it work. Andel turned away, and that's covered up. Now Rance will set Burns through the block, dug in the back row by Case. Moulton sets Phillips. Roller dug by Rance. Back set on the way. Burns power tip over that net, dug. And a net, it's gonna, wow, somehow Phillips avoided the net, but the ball drops on Concordia's side. David City's still gonna get the point. I don't know how that wasn't a line violation on Molly Phillips. 16-14, and here is Cameron Burns now serving with the left hand over at Snyder. Great pass. Moulton. Phillips again. Cross court. Oh, they're going to say there's a touch. Oh, my! There is a touch called on David City. I don't know where it was. And the Scouts have every right to be incensed. The line judge said there was a touch there. Tally Reeves is saying there's no way. The down official pointed at David City. The up official said the up official is going off the line judge. I don't think the line judge saw that right. That is a huge break for Concordia, and David City again with another call against him. Natalie Perkinson in, serves over at Rams. Hines, and Andel is blocked. Snyder with the denial, and it just goes from bad to worse for David City. 18-14 in set 2. Man, oh man. Perkinson, line drive serve over at Burns, back toward the net, pushed over by Johnson. Perkinson gets there, bumps at McNair. Here's Snyder again, dug by Rams. Hines with the set for Burns, power tip for the back row, dug by Fulton. Now swing through by Perks, dug by Rams. Here is Andel, power tip, wide left, is there a touch there? No! David City again wanting to touch, nothing there. Tally Reeves calls her final timeout. 19-14, Concordia in front of David City. The Scouts not fans of what's happening right now. We'll send it over to Sarah Swanigan with a scoreboard update.
All right, we have some movement in Class C1. Ashland Greenwood takes set number 1 over Bishop Newman. They are currently tied up at 15 in set number 2. Adams Central takes set number 1 over Minden. They are in a similar situation, 14-13 Adams Central in set 2. Holdridge battles back in set 1 to take it 27-25 over Platteview, and then they were getting crushed by Platteview, and then they battled back and they took them. Platteview is now up in set 2, 12-6.
Man, that is rather surprising. I'm guessing Bennington Sarah swept, beat Gearing in set 4, right? Yes. All right. So the Badgers are in our Class B field, practically set minus the 1 wild card spot that is given out to whoever ends up 8th in the Class B wild card standings. We'll tell you who all is in for Class B. It's pretty obvious, though. It's basically your top 7. And Johnson's running tip shot goes into the net for David City, and it just keeps getting worse for the Scouts. 20-14 here at set 2. Concordia has the lead. They also took set 1, 25-17. Natalie Perkinson still at the service line for the Mustangs at Burns. Hines for the back set. Here is Andel, and it's dug, but it's out. Case got to the spot. That ball sailed away, though, and a point for David City. 20-15. Sadie Nicholas Libero serves over at Case. Perkinson for Snyder, who took something off of the roll shot, pancaked up, going backwards. Burns free ball, will not make it over. Point Concordia, 21-15. Passing becoming a problem for David City. And Snyder back and serving for the Mustangs with the right hand. Line drive serve over at Nicholas. Back toward the net. Kept on the David City side. Iguatu sends it over. Perkinson for the middle, a swing, through and down for Claire Perks again. Well, Concordia's middles are just doing all sorts of damage in this match. Got Stater and Snyder, and then the 3 middles. Phillips, Perks, and Samuelson. 8, 9, and 10, the jersey numbers. Bad pass. Goes up and over, and that's going to be a violation on David City. Illegal back row attack on Hines. Nicholas will check out. Johnson also out. Kaylee Covert, who was wearing a libero jersey on Tuesday for David City, is going to check in. As Snyder targets Covert, good pass. Bumps at Hines. Burns way over everything from the back row. 24-15. Concordia with set point number 2. And here is Brecken Snyder. Right-handed rainbow serve, bad pass. Hines had to take it. Here comes Rance, blocked back but covered by Burns. Iguatu now tips it over and down. What a break. And Iguatu barely touched that ball. But somehow the Scouts get a side out. Set point number 2, Concordia, 24-16 Mustangs. Cambry Andel with the right hand serves over. at Stater. Perkinson back set. Here is Fulton now. 25-16, Concordia in set number 2. The Mustangs take the second, and we're on to the third. One left for Concordia. We'll see if they can do it, or if David City can rally after this break here on NOS Sports.
NOS Media, you know who they are. Omaha Scanner, Sarpy Scanner, Lincoln Scanner, and more. Raw news in real time, providing the latest updates on first responder activity in Nebraska's 2 biggest cities, plus coverage in other locations. Add in weather from Chief Meteorologist Jim Phillips with Omaha and Sarpy weather, and of course, live coverage of high school athletics on NOS Sports. Follow along with the latest and up-to-date info from NOS Media on social media and at nosmedia.com.
Isn't it amazing?
What?
The sacrifice, the dedication, the grit. They really set an example, don't they?
Oh, well, no question. Today's high school athletes are truly special.
Not the athletes.
Who?
The officials.
Oh.
Today's student athletes are truly special. But there's something pretty great about the men and women who officiate their games, too. Like the way they're giving back to their communities. Officiating is a terrific way to stay in shape, meet new people, and stay connected to the game you love. But the biggest reason of all? We need more qualified high school officials here in Nebraska. And without them, the rest of us would have a whole lot less to cheer about. High school games need officials. High school sports need you.
Great call, Rob!
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
In school sports, it's easy to see the wins, the moments that make headlines. But there's so much work that goes unseen for any of it to happen. My name is Phil Risen, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Throughout the country, athletic administrators dedicate countless hours to making life-changing opportunities possible for student athletes through sports. Their sacrifice is fueled by the belief that every student can grow and deserves their time to shine. On behalf of the NIAAA, we want to thank every athletic administrator for your tireless dedication to providing 7.8 million students across the country a path to a better future.
This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to high school athletics coverage on NOS Sports.
On to the third set here for this Class C1-4 district final between David City and Concordia. The Mustangs lead 2-1. Concordia will give up the ace to Emma Zimmerman to start this third set. And so here is Zimmerman now serving again. Right-handed line drive serve over at Stater. Moulton back to Stater with the block up by Coburn. Now here comes Burns, who terminates on the right pin. Goodness, there is the Cameron Burns that we saw on Tuesday night against Lincoln Lutheran. 2-zip David City in set 3. Scouts go on a run early to start the third set. Might be a new match. Served by Zimmerman over at Stater. Bump set Moulton. Stater again. Cross court off the deck and out of here. Okay, that's an announcer jinx. I don't know for sure, but Concordia on the board in set 3. And Stater will now go back and serve. Snyder takes over at the left pin. Eddie Stater with the right hand serves over at Reynolds. Andel is somehow able to set Burns through the block dug by Moulton. McNair now with a bump set. Swing through the block by Phillips. That's dug. Bump set Andel. Here comes Burns through the block. That one is dug also in the back by Stater. Moulton, Snyder in the offhand and threw it right into the net. 3-1 David City. Hopefully a bad set. Brendan Snyder does not make too many mistakes like that. And here is Rands now serving for the Scouts. Into the net, service error. Rands coming into today, 23 aces, 26 service errors, serves at a 92.2% clip. David City serves very well from the line, 92.7%. Now Samuelson, too long. Rands almost went for the ball. She flinched with that arm, with one of the arms. And fortunately for David City, she did not actually go for the ball. 4-2 Scouts. Here's Bella Hines. Right-handed line drive serve over at Case. Bump set McNair. Running roll shot Snyder. That is dug by Zimmerman. Here comes Burns again. Power tip kept up. Really punched up by Phillips. Snyder again just power tips it into that block. The ball goes up and over and down. Concordia wants a call their way. They're not going to get it. David City with a massive break. 5-2 in set 3. Scouts with the lead. And here is Hines again. Somehow Case got to that ball. Molly Phillips dug by Zimmerman. Up high into the air. Johnson off the dang and out. And the Scouts with a 6-3 lead in this third set. Starting to look a little identical to Tuesday for David City. (6-2) Scouts. Hines serves again, left to right as we see it. You hear it over at Snyder. Good pass. Moulton sets the middle, and that's down. Blair Perks. 6-3 here in set 3. Concordia gets the side out, and Natalie Perkinson will check in and serve. Perkinson, a great volleyball player, and I don't know where she's going to college for volleyball, and I hope she's going to a college for volleyball. She is great. Johnson, power tip, drops into that donut. It wasn't even a power tip, just a tip shot up and over that block. 7-3 David City. Side outs. Side outs. Scouts get the side out. And here's Cameron Burns. He's had a great day from the service line. Bad pass, Snyder. And a free ball as it's out of system for Concordia. Free ball for McNair. Now here comes Andel. Through and down. Perkinson guarding the line. That one going through the block and down. But Shelby Brett Snyder is going to call a timeout. 8-3 David City in set 3. Similar match already compared to what happened on Tuesday. And we'll send it over to Sarah Swanigan with a quick scoreboard update from Class C1.
The only definitive movement we have at this point is that Ashland Greenwood and Bishop Neumann are now tied up at 1 apiece. That second set ended Bishop Neumann 25, Ashland Greenwood 19. Adams Central 2-zip over Minden. Wow. It's been close the whole way. 25-20 set 1, 25-22 set 2. And Platteview is currently up in set. Platteview is currently up in set 2, 22-17 over Holdridge. Now 23-17 over Holdridge.
Well, that Minden score, that's something right there. That's the two-time defending Class C1 champions who are on the ropes against Adams Central. Good thank you to Sarah Swanigan for the scoreboard updates. Back here, 8-3 in set 3. Concordia leads this match 2-1. Cameron Burns over at Case. Perkinson backside. Here comes Perks through, dug by Burns in the back. Hines, Andel, dug by Case. McNair gets to the spot, gets the bump set on the 10-foot line, running roll shot, Snyder dug. Burns with a bump set for Andel into the tape. They're saying there was a block there. Now the attack through block, David City, Doug Perkinson. McNair, Snyder through, dug by Rands. Burns back up front. Andel tries again, it goes into the net. Get out that stopwatch. Concordia wins the rally, 8-4 Scouts. So here is Brecken Snyder serving. Snyder over at Rands, good pass. Hines, Burns from the back, and down. Running roll shot from Burns in front of Snyder. And immediately David City just keeps on siding out and maintaining a 5-point lead here at set 3. 9-4 Scouts. And here's Kaylee Covert, the freshman. Not the libero today. She was on Tuesday. She's the defensive specialist today. Stater, it's dug, it's pushed back, it's kept up by Covert. Now here's Andel swinging through and down. David City starting to play their style of volleyball right now. 10-4 in set 3. Covert was ready to serve, didn't know if the whistle had been blown, and now sends it over. Here comes Stater into the net. On a bad bump set from McNair. 11-4. Shelby Bretschneider not calling her final timeout yet, but it's starting to get away for the Mustangs in this third set. Here's Covert again. Right-handed serve at McNair. Up front, Perkinson. Set for the middle. Tipper off the block and down. Perks gets the kill. 11-5, David City. Samuelson now in at the front row. Now in the front row, I should say. Here is McNair now serving for Concordia. Left-handed serve. Andel, good pass. Hines back to Andel, takes a swing, dug by McNair. Great pass. Bump set Perkinson. Joust won by David City. And again, the Scouts just keep on siding out. 12-5, Andel back in serving now for David City. Right-handed line drive serve, bad pass. Perkinson makes it work. Samuelson, Tipper into that donut and down. David City is arguing something. Let's call a net on David City. I don't know what just happened right there, but the Mustangs get the point, down 6, 12-6. Here is Elise Moulton serving over, bad pass Covert. Iguatu with the bump set. Golden will free ball it over at McNair. Moulton, Samuelson in that blocking down. 12-7. Concordia trying to string it together here in the third set. Moulton serves over. Andel, Golden, block back. Samuelson turns away. Brooke Golden. 12-8. Concordia down by 4. And here is Moulton again over. That pass Rands. Bump set Andel. Iguatu is turned away. It's off the dig and out. And Iguatu just slammed into the scores table, but pops right back up. She's all right. 12-9. Here is Moulton again for Concordia. It's an acer! 12-10. Tally Reeves calls a timeout. Concordia right back in it in set 3. And they are fired up. Down 2 now after being down 7 at one point. And the Mustangs charging back, trying to maintain that momentum here in this third set, up 2 sets to none. Sarah Swanigan, any movements on the scoreboard?
Platteview has taken set 2. I don't remember if that's what it was in the set.
That's all right.
Yeah, Platteview has taken set 2, 25-19. And I believe this is the first update we have for the Malcolm Pierce match.
Yes.
Malcolm took set 1, 25-22.
Wow.
So it was close,
yeah.
But Malcolm walked away. The Clippers are victorious in set 1. We're on to set 2 down there.
Wouldn't be surprised if that one goes 5, given the fact that Malcolm and Pierce are so even. That's the 10-7 Class C1-7 district final, and that's 2 very even teams. Same deal with Adams Central and Minden. Serve over by Moulton. Bad pass. Golden into the net. Concordia down 1. 12-11 in set 3. Now Elena Johnson is going to check in for Kaylee Covert. Covert now out. Sadie Nichols, the libero, is back in. And here is Elise Moulton once more on the serve. Lead is cut to 1. Moulton at Nicholas. Good pass. Here comes Golden again. Block back. Samuelson once more. And we are tied at 12. There's the team block. Slater for Concordia coming alive in set 3. It's primarily been Phillips and Perks, but it's all Samuelson in the third. And now here is Moulton. Line drive serve over, bad pass. Rand somehow gets the bump set for Golden. Fires over Doug in the back by Snyder. Here comes Stater in the left pin, up the dig and down. And the Mustangs have the lead. 13-12 in the third. Here's Moulton again. That is almost an ace. Brands gets the free ball over at Snyder. Here goes Seth Middle and a big smash by Phillips. 14-12 Concordia. This is now officially a 10-1 run for the Mustangs. With Elise Moulton still serving. Bad pass by Burns, bump set, Golden takes a roller, wide right! Another one for Concordia. Tally Reed's gonna burn her final timeout. We're gonna take a timeout here, I gotta regroup. Concordia leads David City 15-12 in set 3 here on Sports.
I just love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience. Where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the NSAA and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to high school athletics coverage on NOS Sports.
Back at Concordia, Ryan Swanigan, Sarah Swanigan with you 15-12 as the Mustangs have come all the way back and they are still going. It is now an 11-1 run by Concordia here in this third set on David City. And Elise Moulton still at the service line. Line drive, clips the tape, pushed up in the air somehow. And Burns will free ball it over at Moulton. McNair bump set, Stater through. Dog goes back, oh, 3 outs! Another break for Concordia. They just keep being strong together, and David City cannot get Elise Moulton off the service line. Or out of the rotation either, for that matter. Here is Moulton again at Nicholas. To Golden. Out of system ball, Burns takes the swing over. It's kept up somehow by Snyder. Bump set McNair. Stater power tip, and that blocking down! Unbelievable. 17-12 Concordia, and now they are officially starting to run away. Here's Moulton into the net. You had to imagine the run was going to end at some point, but that concludes, if I add this up right, a 13-1 run by Concordia, I believe. Thereabouts, that's for sure. Here's Zimmerman now serving for David City over at Snyder. Good pass. Moulton the other way. Stater, block back. Burns denies. That's got to feel good for David City. Down 3, 17-14 in the third. Zimmerman now serves it over again. Snyder, bad pass. It's actually Stater, bad pass over at Andel. Bump set Nicholas. Burns chased away by Samuelson. That's 4 blocks, 4 kills, and 4 aces for Grace Samuelson. Goodness. What a day she is having. Stater, bad pass Zimmerman. Someone gets a bump set. Burns over Doug by Moulton. That ball's out of bounds. Snyder gets the shot over. That's Doug. And a bump set from Stater. Here comes Burns again. Power tip Doug by Snyder. Pushed up in the air, Phillips, and then pushed over by Moulton. Andel sets the middle. Johnson powers it through and down. I think that actually was Rance. And it was Rance. Johnson now comes back in. Rance is going to go back and serve. 18-15 in the third. Rance line drive serve over at McNair. Moulton. Samuelson block back. And David City gets the point in the block by Johnson. 18-16. Mustangs with a 2-point lead here in set number 3. They lead this match 2-0. Addie Rance serving it again with the right hand. Targets McNair. Another bad pass. Moulton makes it work. Here comes Snyder taking something off over that block and down. 19-16. Concordia. Grace Samuelson back and serving. Claire Burks, by the way, 8 kills in this match. Brecken Snyder has only 3. Addie Stater leading the way as well with 8 kills. So Burks and Stater tied up. Golden roller off the dig and out. As Moulton and Case came together. And now Bella Hines checks in and serves for David City. 2-point Concordia lead in the third, 19-17 our score. And here is Hines with the right hand, line drive serve over. Good pass by Case to Moulton. Now running swing off the block and down by Kirks again. What a match she is having for Concordia. David City does not have any timeouts left. Concordia has won. They lead 20-17. And Natalie Perkinson in and serving for the Mustangs. Right to left as we see it and you hear it. Right-handed line drive serve over. Good pass by Rance. Here comes Burns, who terminates on the left on the right pin. Cameron Burns making it work for David City again on the right side. 20-18. Now Burns will go back and serve. Concordia up 2. Portia Aguatu back in for the Scouts. Up front at the net with Burns and the serve over at Case. Perkinson backs it. Burks over. Dug by Burns. And now here is Andel through the block. Pushed up in the air by Perks. Bumps at Perkinson. Swing by Fulton is dug by Hines. Burns. Andel cross court dug by Snyder. Perkinson back to Snyder. Tip shot cross court. There was nobody way up in front of that 10-foot line. Get out the axe. To a degree. It's a tip shot, but it's a tip shot that cuts line. 21-18. And here is Snyder now back and serving. Stater takes over at the left pin. A serve. Snyder with the ace. 22-18, Concordia in set 3. Snyder over again at Rance. Hines sets the middle. Johnson power tip. Perkinson there. McNair. Stater through. Dug by Burns in the back. Here comes Andel through the block. Dug back toward the net. Swing off the block and out. Perks was right there. Johnson went off. They went one-on-one, and Johnson won that one for David City, 22-19. Here is Nicholas now back and serving. Right-handed serve over. Good pass by Stater. McNair with a bump set. Stater running roll shot dug by Burns. Hines for Andel. Block back covered by Johnson. Andel, no, Rand's there, and Rand's at St. Perkinson. Ball goes over. Johnson right there. Hines again. Handle through the block, dug by Snyder. Perkinson will set Stater, who fires through the block. Dug goes back, push down! Stater makes it work for the Mustangs. Get out that stopwatch. 23-19 Mustangs of Concordia. Kyra McNair back and serving. Right-handed or left-handed serve over at Andel. Hines will set. Andel terminates. 23-20. David City not there yet. They don't want to be there yet. We want to stay here. Concordia is 2 away. 23-20. Cambry Andel back and serving with the right hand over at McNair. Good pass. Perkinson the bump set. Stater swings. Doug Nicholas. Andel sets the middle. Rands. Is there a touch? No! There is no touch somehow. David City was pointing at it. And now, here is match point for Concordia to go to state for the first time in 8 years. Elise Moulton, who put that run together, will send it over with the right hand into the tape. So there will be no run here. Match point number 2. 24-21. Emma Zimmerman in. And Zimmerman will send it away with the right hand. Over at Stater. Good pass. Bumps at Snyder. Back to Stater. Off the block, and it drops. Inbounds for David City. Match point number 3. 24-22. Zimmerman again. Serve for the Scouts. And for the first time in 8 years, Concordia is going to Pinnacle Bank Arena. The Mustangs sweep David City in 3 sets, 25-17, 25-16, 25-22. And what a season for Concordia. And what a way to close it out. And back down to Lincoln go the Concordia Mustangs. But this time it's the volleyball team that will make the trip down there. And that's going to feel good for Shelby Brettschneider, first-year head coach for Concordia. And what a season for this Mustang squad. And the drought, unfortunately for David City, continues. Next year, it will be 40 years officially since the last time that the Scouts were at state. And what a career for Cameron Burns, the Drake University commit for David City as well. And the David City Scouts will finish their season 22-10. Concordia now 29-8 on the season. And they will very likely lock up the 4 seed at the state volleyball tournament. And that will be played next Wednesday afternoon, and we'll have that match for you right here on NOS Sports. That's going to do it for us here in Northwest Omaha. Big thank you to Sarah Swanigan for her help with the scoreboard update. For everybody at NOS Media, including the ownership group, I'm Ryan Swanigan, saying goodbye from Concordia. The Mustangs are on to the state volleyball tournament as they sweep David City. 3 sets to none, the final in set 3, 25-22. We'll talk to Concordia fans and all of you next Wednesday for our next broadcast of high school sports here on NOS Sports. State volleyball tournament action. It could be a very long day on NOS Sports. We're hoping for it. We're planning for it. And we're going to see what happens with that. As we head to Lincoln, Class B will kick things off at 9 a.m. on NOS Sports as well as on Lincoln Prep Sports as well. Should be a fun day, and we hope that you will tune in then. Until that time, I'm Ron Swanigan saying goodbye from Concordia. We'll talk to you Wednesday morning from the 2025 State Volleyball Tournament on NOS Sports.
Congratulations.